Hey, what's up, guys? Tony Perks. Welcome back to Unpack Your Bag Podcast. This is just a brief little segment, some thoughts I had in my head, and I kind of wanted to get them out really quick just to have the space. And this is to my black brothers and sisters, and really to anybody, but I'm kind of addressing this more towards you guys because I've been getting pushback from my thoughts and opinions and ideas of how I view things, and that's okay. I have no problem with that. And some of the ideas I have is that I wouldn't say that racism doesn't exist. I just don't think, for me personally, that's the biggest influence in my life. I don't judge everything based off my skin color. I judge it off of my actions and who I am as a person. And I think a lot of times we get wrapped up in that. I can say for me before, I wasn't always this. I didn't think this way for a while. I think I grew up with the type of like. How do I explain it? I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, in a white city, with majority of the kids white. So we had in my elementary class. We had, I think in my kindergarten class, there's maybe like 2 or 3 black kids, me, Chuck, and Dijon. And then like during the school, like on my 5th grade when I was graduating, I think there's probably 13 black kids out of the whole entire 5th grade classes, and there was like maybe 4 or 5 classes, I think. So each class was roughly 30 students. So 30 times 5, 3, 6, 9, 10, 15, 150 students. Maybe 120, 150 students, and maybe like 12 or 13 black kids. So that's kind of when I grew up. In 6th grade, I went into another school, and there was actually a lot of like blacks and Mexicans, and I didn't really fit in. And I was kind of torn because in one sense I would hang out with the black kids and get made fun of, but then I would go and hang out with the white kids or the Mexican kids or whatever, and it wasn't really a big deal. As I got older, I never really clicked with the side. I just clicked with people who I liked. I didn't really think about it as there's always going to be that common duality of like, because you're black, I kind of feel a certain way, with you, like, because black in the struggle type of thing. But as I got older, it kind of shifted for me. So the way I grew up was, some people may have that same upbringing, but for me, I just felt a little different because I didn't have a lot of the struggles that other black people that I knew had. I was raised in an all black family. Don't get me wrong, all black brothers and sisters. I was adopted, but I didn't wear that badge of honor like black and proud type of thing. It just wasn't something that I really just got into as a kid and growing up into like high school and stuff. So fast forward into, early 20s, mid 20s, I had racist encounters in, high school, outside of high school, going into college and stuff. But it was more of like on a case by case basis. Most people that I ran into weren't racist that were white. They were just more, most people were actually pretty cool. I can't even lie. A lot of people were pretty cool. But then there was this undertone. Some people that were kind of, they would say racist shit, And I didn't really know how to deal with it because I was just young and, I would make excuses for it or like not take it as personal. And so I kind of was like, maybe my defense mechanism was not taking somebody insulting you as personal. So now we're in this place, where as black people, we the badge of, how do I put this? The badge of oppression is there, like that life is hard and things that are not in your favor, and slavery exists, and redlining, and the Jim Crow laws, and the welfare system, and putting crack in the neighborhoods, and taking fathers at the homes, and all these things, all these things that are true and hard, and they do have some degree of responsibility. I was adopted. I'm a black kid. I didn't have any formal education. Raised by a single mother, and with also some disabled family members, which was hard to deal with because of mental issues and mental sickness and illness, right? So I had a little bit of different upbringing. Maybe than average person, maybe. And I'm not saying I'm exempt or, special, but that's just where I was. So I've been now at this point in the stage of my life in the last few years that I don't see color as much as I used to. Now, I'm not saying I don't see color since if I don't see someone's black or white or Mexican, or that people can be racist or biased or whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't lead with that personally myself. I'm a pretty optimistic person. I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky person. I'm a pretty open person. And that has worked for me for quite a while. I feel like I've had people that were closet racists, that would be your friend in front of your face, but then really be saying shit behind your back. I had people that, invite me to a party and then call me a nigger in front of all their friends and stuff, And other black people at that time just didn't care. And I was the one that was getting offended. I had people that call me N-word straight to my face to insult me directly. I had people say, "Oh, you look at you in your nigger arms," So it's not for me to say, like, I don't say racism doesn't exist. But I will say is that I don't let that be the basis of how I interact with people. Me personally. I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying this is, the approach everybody should have. Everybody has their own experiences and stuff. But based off my personal experience with dealing with Caucasian people, Mexican people, Asian people, black people, Czechoslovakian, whatever, Russian, there are at times some bias. But I don't really see people being racist to me. And I can go a list. I've had cops pull me over thinking I was a drug dealer, even though the guy I was talking to was on drugs and was, doing shit. But they pulled me out the car, searched my car and everything, profiling me. So, and there's even a time where I got pulled over because it said my car didn't fit the neighborhood. So, I think of my personal experience, I would say the racist or, really unpleasant encounters I've had with white people from not what I see on TV, but my personal experience, I would probably say is like 97% of the people who I've interacted with that are white or another race have not really done anything racist to me. And could be oblivious to it, but the things I've seen and saw, known blatant racism, knowing, subconscious racism, knowing like the sly racism, knowing the cool in your face and the racist behind your back, I've seen it all, personally. And so for me, I just choose not to go in that direction. I want to be judged by the content of my character, not the color of my skin. So in order for that to happen, I need to uphold that principle myself. I can't sit there and say that everyone is racist. I can't say that these people aren't racist. But what I can say of my personal experience is that I've encountered some racism. There's time I went out to a bar, asked someone for a cigarette, and then the guy said like, "Oh, you don't have enough money to afford your own cigarettes," like implying that. And he even said like, "Well, because you just can't get your own stuff. Why? Like you feel so defeated." And he was implying because I'm black, I can't do anything for myself. So this notion that I'm getting all the time is like, I'm getting this notion a lot from other black people that I'm an Uncle Tom or I'm, trading for the cause. And it's not that. I'm just basing on my own experiences. I've had racist stuff happen, but I just choose not to go into that all the time. It's not my go-to or jump to for me personally. And I'm a very happy person. Even though I had bad shit happen to me, I'm still a very happy, pleasant person. And I just don't follow the notion that everyone's racist, everyone's bad, because if people think that way about me as a black person, I wouldn't want that. And whether they do or don't is relevant. I don't care it doesn't matter what they think about me. It's not my business to know what they think about me. Now, if we communicate and talk and, you say something back and forth, that's different. But your thoughts are not my business. So you can think whatever you want. But you want to give me some damn respect. Okay? So I think I say this to say that, a lot of times I think we lead with our past bias and stuff. And I'm an example that I've had plenty of past bias of stuff that are negative, are truly like racist, are truly blatant derogatory. But at the end of the day, like, this is the world we live in. The world we live in is there are some people that are just not good, that could be evil. But traditionally, most people are decent. Most people are decent. But what I have come to the conclusion for me is that I've gotten a lot of flack from black people as well. Me being a black person and understanding the black struggle, I've also dealt with the same ignorance in that way. I wouldn't even say ignorance because that's a strong word. The same kind of banter and demeanor. Oh, you dark skinned, or oh, like, you whitewashed, or you can't really fit with us, or like, oh, you two, like, it's just like those kind of things that you hear and people say to you, and especially when you are somebody who understands the struggle, it's hard to take in as a black person. That, like, sometimes, the world may be against you, like the white man, and then also your black brothers and sisters it feels like an attack against you because you're not fitting the norm or the narrative. And I just wanted to express this point because I don't think it's talked about enough. Like, what do we do with each other? Because I'm not bashing anybody who thinks differently from me. I'm not bashing if you believe a certain way. But all I'm asking for is the same respect. I may challenge your thoughts. I may challenge your beliefs. I may challenge what you think and say. But I'm not telling you you're wrong. Even if I disagree, I'm just saying you are allowed to be how you are. So let me be how I am without being disrespectful. So I think that's one thing I think in the black community that I see for me personally is that sometimes if you don't fit the narrative, you kind of get tossed out because, people are thinking you're doing something or having an assumption about you. But I just want to clear the case. Not even clear the case. I just want to set the stage and tone for me that I'm for people being better. Whether you're black, white, Asian, Latin American, whatever, I'm for people that want to be better in their lives. So if you're the type of person that want to do better and be better and, not make excuses for stuff and hold yourself accountable and be that person to make a change in yourself and not be whimmed by the excuses, that's who I want. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're Mexican. I don't care if you're Asian. That's what I want. So that was a quick rant. I had to get that off my chest real quick. It's time to go anyways. But yeah, unfortunately, I gotta go get some food. So we gotta talk about this another time. But thank you guys so much for listening to my rant. And let me know what you guys think. It's interesting. All right. See you on the next one. Peace, love, and hair grease. Talk to y'all soon.